So I just thought it might be a good idea to discuss what you can expect from your first counseling session. It's completely okay if you're a little bit nervous going into this, if you don't know what you're looking into. So, the most important thing that I would like for you to keep in mind is that counseling is a completely judgment free and completely confidential zone. These are two values that I hold very dear to me when it comes to my practice, because you are talking about things that are sensitive, you are talking about things that are difficult for you to talk about elsewhere, which is why you're reaching out for help. So that is something that you can be assured for. Anything that you bring into the session, I'm not here to judge, I'm only here to understand and help. And secondly, anything that you bring into the session does not leave the space between the client and the counselor. Another thing that you can look forward to is that counseling might not just give you a snappy solution. It's not a one and done thing, right? But what counseling does do is it helps you build these skills so that you become independent enough that whenever a problem does approach you again in life, you have the skill set to deal with it. Now, what do these skills look like? Emotional awareness, stress management, anger management, communication skills. All of these skills are something that your counselor, or me in this case, would help you develop within yourself. Another thing that you can expect in counseling is that your counselor will ask you a lot of questions. They might ask you to expand on what you're saying. They might ask you to give examples from your life in order to understand your situation and your mindset better. So, counseling is a little bit different from going to a doctor, where when you go to a doctor, you just straight away tell them your symptoms and they give you a medication. It's not like that. Counseling is not a prescription, it's a conversation, so that you and your counselor can understand your situation better, and the both of you work together to come up with skill sets and to come up with some sort of a solution to the problem, or some sort of an outlook which can make things easier for you. Now, naturally, this leads me to the another point, that counseling requires collaborative work both on the part of the counselor and on the part of the client. So, there is a certain mental readiness which you will have to keep in order to go into counseling, because counseling and therapy forces you to confront certain things within yourself. It forces you to come face to face with certain truths that you might have been avoiding. Now, I know this sounds very intimidating, which is why it's very important to also understand that your counselor is not somebody who's there to attack you. It's always gentle and curious probing. So, whenever your counselor forces you to confront something within yourself, it's never something that is harsh. It's never something that is coming from a place of judgment. It's only so that once you can accept the truth, only then can you begin to bring about that change within yourself. And as your counselor, I will always take a very calm and a very patient approach to you. When you come for counseling or when you come to therapy, the most important thing is that you are doing everything that you're doing out of your free will. As your counselor, it is not my place to tell you what you are supposed to do with your life. In fact, it is my place to help you realize how to make those decisions for yourself. It is not my place to force you into doing anything you're not up to doing. So, essentially, what a counselor does is when you go to them with a problem, they offer you a variety of different options. And then you streamline those options based on what works for you. Because every person is unique and every person has unique needs. So, that is what you can expect from your first session of counseling. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I hope that helped.